Hi everyone, Shade here with my first Baldur's Gate 3 video. This is going to cover my Eldritch Blaster character up to level 5 along with the companions and party composition I have that I'm taking through Tactician. Sorry it's been so long. I've done multiple restarts just trying to figure out where I want to go, but I figured it out. I'm having a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll bring you more content after this as I progress in levels. Right now my entire party is level 5. But before we do that, I just want to remind you guys that I am on Twitch at twitch.tv/shade. Come follow me, join me. I stream most nights depending on how busy my schedule is, but you can always catch me there, or you can catch me here doing the YouTube thing if you want to, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. First, my main character. I chose Githyanki, mainly because of the astral knowledge ability. It allows you to gain proficiency in all skills of a chosen ability score. So strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, and that lasts till a long rest. It's amazing. It gives you proficiency in everything. It's the big reason I chose Githyanki, and it's one of the reasons I think it's one of the more overpowered races to choose. Drow is pretty good too. You can also do Tiefling for some of the different spells that it gives you, but I chose Githyanki so that I could focus on certain skills and have this to fall back on for the face skills, because this is the face of my party. So let's go through the level progression. The first level is Fighter. I know this is an Eldritch Blast build, just bear with me. Fighter gives you a lot of good stuff. If you choose it at level 1, you get heavy armor, and you also get constitution saves. Your proficiency goes into your constitution saves. That only happens if you choose it at 1. If you choose it any other time, you'll get medium armor, but you don't get heavy armor, and you don't get the constitution proficiency. Constitution proficiency is really good for concentration checks, which if we're using Hex, we have a concentration spell, and it just kind of helps us mitigate, if we're hit, mitigate some damage, and allows us to keep control of our spells so we don't lose a spell. The fighter gets second wind at first level. It's a good heal. It's helped me a few times in this game because they do like to focus me sometimes. So having that makes it really, really good. So at level 1, we'll take fighter. Now at level 2, we will actually go into Warlock. Warlock is a pretty cool class. You get a limited amount of spells, and you only, over the course of a Warlock's life, you only get to cast them twice, but you get to regen them on a short rest, which we'll be getting 3 of with this party. And they're always cast at the highest level. In Baldur's Gate 3, your spell level that you can cast is based on your character level and not, the level of the class. They changed it. So basically at level 5, I can cast 3rd level spells. I choose the Fiend mainly. The subclass feature is pretty good. You get temporary hit points if you reduce a creature down to 0 hit points, but I chose it for the spells that I can choose. You can go Great Old One. This one's actually pretty good too. Every critical hit, enemies around the creature hit has to make a wisdom saving throw or become frightened until the end of their next turn. Frightened is a really, really good skill. They can't move, and they have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. It's pretty good. This is a great one to choose too. It's really up to you. As I said, I just chose it mainly for the spell selection. Cantrips, you want to choose Eldritch Blast, and then I choose Friends just so I have advantage on conversations. And then for spells, I actually go with Command and Hex. Command is awesome. Command, you can force people to drop their weapons. So as you get later and later in the game, the AI gets smarter and they pick up their weapons. But, for a round or 2, they don't have a weapon. And it's great if you can push them away or something, then they can't get their weapon, and then they hit very, very weakly, and they're more manageable. So I choose those 2 spells. We go Warlock again. This unlocks your 2nd spell, and that's the most spells that Warlocks can cast. You also get to choose a new spell. Hellish Rebuke is pretty good. Arms of Hadar is pretty nice. I tend to choose Hellish Rebuke sometimes, just because it hits pretty hard and it's a reaction, so you can just kind of cast it, because I'm usually just hexing and Eldritch blasting anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, for your Eldritch Invocation, you get to choose 2. There are 3 that are really good: Agonizing Blast, Repelling Blast, and Devil's Sight. Agonizing Blast is one that you have to choose. It basically takes your Charisma modifier and adds it to the damage of Eldritch Blast, makes it hit really hard. The other 2 are kind of at your discretion. If you're playing a Drow, Repelling Blast is really, really good because you already have the Dark Sight for 24 meters, but I choose Devil Sight on the Githyanki because I want to have the Dark Sight for 24 meters, and then the chance that I can stand in darkness and see when other creatures can't. At 4th level, we go back and we take Fighter. The reason we take Fighter, this is what turns us into a boss killer if we get lucky enough to hit. Oh, I forgot. I can just do there. So the reason we choose Fighter is for Action Surge. Action Surge gives you an extra action that you can use. It's recharged on a short rest. We finally become the Sorlock. We go over here. We choose Sorcerer. I choose Draconic Bloodline for the not for the armor class, for the extra hit points. That can be good. Storm Sorcery, I think, could be nice. The fly it's not really a fly, it's more like a disengage that you can go just a short distance away every time you cast a level 1 or higher. It does not go off when you cast cantrips like Eldritch Blast, so just FYI, you have to cast a level 1 or higher spell. But I choose Draconic Bloodline because I want to use like Scorching Ray and everything with my sorcery points on top of Eldritch Blast. I'm probably going to go red, gold, or brass, just depending on which spell that you want. I'm just going to choose gold because a utility spell might be pretty cool. Cantrips, I am going to go for... I'm going to get that because we'll do extra fire damage if I want it. But Eldritch Blast, like I said, is going to be my go-to. And then I just choose some utility ones. Dancing Lights can be good if you have humans in your party. You can cast it and illuminate something way out there. Light you can cast on an object and throw it. So you can do a bunch of things. But most of my party has dark vision, so it doesn't apply to me that much. And then for spells, I actually go for Shield, and I'm going to choose Jump. I'll explain some of the other utility spells as we get into my other characters, but there are some really good ones that I'll tell you my choices and why I choose them. So those are my spells. That is the Sorlock, and really quick as we get out here, I'm going to show you Eldritch Blast right here. So as you can see, it says conjure 2 beams of crackling energy. So it does 1d10 plus 3 right now. As I level higher, I'll be pumping up my charisma to get it as high as possible, and we'll be doing more and more damage. The whole idea is to blow Quicken Spell and fire off a bunch of Eldritch Blasts. If I'm finding that that's not working, I can do it with Scorching Rays or even Fireballs. So there's a lot that you can do. It gets really versatile, and I think it's a fun character and it's a good character, and it's taken me through most of Act 1. You can handle everything. It's a great main character. Like I said, it's your face character. Basically, I use Astral Knowledge, Charisma, and as you can see, you gain proficiency in all the Charisma spells or Charisma skills, and depending on what ability score, you can gain Astral Knowledge in those. So this one always runs on as the face character, and it's the head of my party. Next is my support. I choose Shadowheart, but really you can choose whichever NPC you enjoy, even a hireling. It doesn't matter with how Larian has things set up. Anybody can be anything. I actually like it. A lot of people don't, but I think it's actually really cool because then I can kind of choose who I want to keep and who I don't. Like, I don't have Gale or Astariad even in this game because I find them annoying. And a lot of people might not, but I personally do. So I got rid of them and I just kind of run with the group I have. But first, Shadowheart, we're going to choose Cleric, and here's her ability rundown. We're going to put her Wisdom at 14, her Charisma at 16, Constitution at 16, and then I pump Dexterity because at one time she was my pseudo rogue, but you can do like Strength if you want, just more carrying capacity. Domains, I choose Life because of the subclass feature Disciple of Life. This basically, when casting a healing spell, the target gains an additional hit points equal to 2+ the spell's level, and that applies to any healing spell. So we're going to be multi-classing into Bard, and it applies to those healing spells as well. As for the cantrips, get Sacred Flame, so whatever, get Guidance. It's the best, one of the best cantrips in the game. And then I also do Resistance. It helps if you have like diseases or something on you. You can use that to kind of help your guys get rid of them. And then clerics know every spell, so you can choose whichever spells you want. Again, I like Bless is a big one that you want to make sure you have, because at level 2, you can cast it on your entire party, and it gives everyone a D4 to ability checks to, or not ability checks, to saves or attacks. So get it, use it. It's awesome. And then Healing Word is a great healing spell. It heals for a little bit less, but it heals from distance. So you can use that to kind of top your guys up. Now on to level 2. And from here on out, we are going to do the classic multi-class here in this game to Bard. Bard is amazing. It's a great support character. It can learn arcane spells. It can learn some healing spells, and it has a lot of great control spells. For cantrip, I usually choose Vicious Mockery because you can give anybody disadvantage on its next attack roll. It helps a lot. And then I choose Minor Illusion. As for spells, you already know these spells because you've already chosen them from Cleric, so you don't really have to worry about those. I usually choose Featherfall, Longstrider, Speak with Animals, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Why did I choose those spells? Well, Tasha's is just kind of a good one, especially if you're using Warlock. You can kind of hit their wisdom saves and then give them disadvantage, and it becomes easier to land these spells. Featherfall is a free spell. Level 1 spells, especially for this buffer class, it really doesn't matter because I'm just using those spells as heal spells or blesses or anything like that. If I want to do some control, I'm not attacking with this character. Featherfall is a ritual spell. It's free. It's a free cast. You don't spend anything as long as you have it memorized. You're good. But as a ritual spell, you don't spend any of your spell casts. So get Featherfall, cast it on everybody. Longstrider is amazing. Longstrider increases a creature's movement speed by 3 meters, which is it's a pretty long distance, especially if you throw it on certain classes. This is not a concentration spell. You cast it at level 2, you can cast it on 2 people. It's a ritual spell, so you don't spend any spell slots. And you can just put it on everybody and it will always be on there. It's simply amazing. And then the same thing with Speak with Animals. It's a ritual spell and it's on until a long rest. I just have that so I can talk to animals if I want to. And at level 3, we get Jack of all trades. So any skill check that we're not proficient in, we get +1. We get basically half of what our proficiency bonus is, which is great. We get level 2 spell slots. So this is where it says spell slots, not spells, spell slots. So we can cast at 2nd level. We just can't choose any 2nd level spells until they become available at Bard 3. But we can upcast our healing spells at level 2. It's great. We get Song of Rest. Song of Rest is awesome. It basically gives you a free short rest. So now you can have 3 short rests instead of 2. It is great for most characters. I run with a Warlock who recharges all their spells on a short rest. I run with a monk who recharges all their ki on a short rest, and I run with a Battlemaster fighter who recharges all their superiority dice on a short rest. And at level 5 Bard will recharge all of their inspiration dice on a short rest. So I'm basically running kind of a short rest party, and this just kind of makes us last a little bit longer. As far as spells go, you can choose kind of what you want. Fairy Fire is usually pretty good. A lot of times I'll just choose this one and then kind of get rid of it at the next level for something at level 2. At Bard level 3, character level 4, we get to choose a college. I go College of Lore. It gives you extra proficiencies in Arcana, Intimidation, and Sleight of Hand. You also get Cutting Word. For spells, I like Hold Person. Then I will usually change out Fairy Fire for something else here. Heat Metal is okay. Like I said, you're more of a buffer, but this one helps against enemies that have like a metal weapon or armor. They get disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, which is really, really nice. Silence is good too. We get a new cantrip. Choose what you want. I'll go with Mage Hand. And then we get another spell choice. I'll choose Silence this time. You can replace the spell if you want to. And then I go for an ability improvement. You can go for, if you want to, you can do Warcaster. This gives you an advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration spells. You can also use your reaction to cast Shock and Grasp for free, even though you don't have it. But I find more value in ability improvements. So you can get your Charisma up to 18. You want to get your Charisma to 20 through the ability improvements. It just makes you a better caster because all your spellcasting feats are based off Charisma. Next up is Lae'zel. She is the only party member that I have that will be non-multiclass. Multiclassing is pretty strong, but Fighter 12 is really strong, and her subclass Battlemaster really makes her a great frontliner. She has a lot of control. She does decent damage with the superiority dice, and then all the feats that fighters get makes this a really, really good character to have up there. Plus, she can wear, heavy armor, and just kind of, she gets a lot of hit points, and she gets to take a lot of actions too. Now, I forgot on my Warlock, you want to go defense. But on her, you want to do Great Weapon Fighting. Great Weapon Fighting, when you roll a 1 or 2 on damage die, it re-rolls. So you have a chance to get even more damage. She does some crazy damage, and she'll kind of be pumping for you early. There's the Everburn sword that you get on the Mind Flayer ship. You can easily get that by casting command and forcing him to drop it. You may have to save scum, but I've had pretty good luck with it on Tactician. But you get that, and she just starts destroying. Now for level 2 fighter, you get Action Surge. As I said before, it's an amazing skill. You get to basically do a second action. At level 3, you get to choose your subclass, and we are going to choose Battlemaster. Battlemaster basically uses a system called superiority dice. They are d8s. You get 4. At level 10, they become d10s. I believe you get more and more as your levels go up. Don't quote me on it though. And these superiority dice are used to do maneuvers. Here's the list of maneuvers, and as you gain levels, you'll be able to choose more and more of them. They all have different things that they do, and then they take the superiority dice and add to your damage when you're using them. I choose Menacing Attack. This so Menacing Attack, you spend a superiority die to frighten the target. As we learned, frighten just causes them to stay there, so you can kind of just make the enemy stay there so that your frontliners can just hit them, and it saves your ranged people from being hurt, because the AI tends to go for lower AC tunes, so this just kind of helps. I also do Pushing Attack because that allows you to kind of shove them 4.5 meters Either way, this game has a lot of infinite holes in the earth. So, pushing something in there, it's an auto death and it makes the battle easier. And then I choose riposte. Riposte gives me something to do on my with my reaction. If an enemy misses you, you can spend a die to retaliate with a hit that does 1d8 extra damage. It's pretty good when they hit, and when you take the karmic dice off, they tend to miss a lot. So this can be up at least once a round. So choose that, have some fun with it. Level 4, we keep going fighter. We do get a feat, and the feat I choose is Polearm Master. So what this does is when you wield a glaive, halberd, quarterstaff, or spear, you can make an opportunity attack when a target comes within range. So it's not leaving, it's when they come within range. So you can just throw an opportunity attack. So if you haven't riposted lately, you can use this. It's really nice. And then this also gives you a bonus attack. When attacking with a glaive, halberd, quarterstaff, or spear, you can use the bonus action to attack with the butt of your weapon, deal 1 to 4 bludgeoning damage. Kind of sucks, doesn't it? 1 to 4 damage, but you get a bunch of flat damage things that can add up. This bonus attack adds up quite a bit. I think I've hit for double digits, so it's not too bad. It's an extra attack. It's an extra bonus attack, so it's really, really good. And there are some nice glaives out there. And plus, not a lot of people use it anyway. And then at 5, you get what every martial class loves. You get extra attack. What I failed to mention was level 5 is really a power escalation with your party. Everything is tough, and then once you hit level 5, a lot of classes just get a boost. Your casters, your pure casters get level 3 spells. Your martial characters get 2 attacks. Everything just kind of gets elevated from there. It gets really, really nuts. And level 5, you just see a huge power boost. That's like one of the biggest levels, which is why I wanted to wait to make this guide until I had a solid level 5 party, because that's when your entire party kicks it into second gear. But you get second attack. And then you also get Misty Step as a Githyanki. You can only use it once for long rest, but it's good for repositioning or, getting out of dodge. And finally, we have Karlach. I love Karlach. It's my favorite NPC. Karlach is normally a barbarian, but in this one, I am a monk. Now, there's a couple caveats with this build, with this form of the build. The first one is that I don't switch to strength, a strength monk, until at least level 4, if not level 5 or 6. Simply because dexterity is just much better at lower levels. You get better AC. You can, it just works a little bit better. But once you hit 4, you get to choose your feat, which I will go into, and then it becomes better to choose strength as opposed to dexterity. But you can run dexterity, and I'll tell you what feat I choose prior to that, because I ran Dex Monk until this video. And so here's my stat breakdown. It's going to be strength 17, dex 14, wisdom 14. As a monk, dex and wisdom go into your AC, which is really, really good. Constitution, you can drop this to 12 if you don't want a high dex and you want more constitution. I'm going to try it like this and see if it works. I don't know. So I'm I'm testing to see what happens. And then stealth is good and insight's good. Later on, I'll tell you where we're going with this character so that you can see what I'm doing. As a monk, you get Flurry of Blows, which on a bonus action, you do 2 quick punches that you do at level 1, 1d4. At level 3, it goes up to 1d6. So I think they've accelerated the rate at which your damage scales up compared to regular D&D. But for now, they just do 1d4 plus your Dex or Strength, whichever is higher. So it will be my Strength at this time. You get key points at level 1 that you can spend to use Flurry of Blows and other monk abilities. You also get Unarmored Defense. While you're not wearing any armor, your Wisdom modifier is added to your AC, which is why we have a 14 Wisdom. If I was going Dex, I'd do 16 Dex, 16 Wisdom, and the rest into Constitution. You can do 10 Strength and 10 something else, or 12 Strength, whatever you want. But 16 Dex, 16 Wisdom gives you the best AC you can get. There are bracers in the game that can give you extra AC. Those will help you survive a little bit. At level 2, we go Monk. Again, you get more key points. You get more movement speed while you are not wearing armor. You get some crazy movement, and on top of the Long Strider spell, you just start going crazy amounts around the battlefield. It's awesome. They also get Patient Defense, Step of the Wind Dash, and Step of the Wind Disengage. So as a bonus action in combat, you spend a key point, you can disengage on your bonus action instead of regular action, and jump no longer requires a bonus action. So I believe you can jump too. So you can double your movement speed and jump without spending a bonus action. At Monk level 3, you get to choose your subclass. I'm going to go Wave the Open Hand. There's a lot of control with Wave the Open Hand. Basically, it transforms your Flurry of Blows. You can do Topple, Stagger, or Push. Push just pushes them away up to 5 meters. Stagger staggers them. They are unable to make any reactions, which can be good if you don't have the mobile feats. You can stagger them and then run back out, so you can do some hit and run tactics if you want. I tend to do Topple a lot because you knock them prone, which they fall down, and then you have advantage on all melee attacks while they're on the ground. So I tend to run in, use Flurry of Blows, Topple, and then use my regular attacks. All right, at level 4, you get more key points. You also get slow fall, so you can use your reaction to have your falling damage essentially, and then you also get a feat. The feat we're going to choose, so for Strength Monk, we are going to choose Tavern Brawler, and I'll explain it here in a second. For Dex Monk, you want to choose Mobile. Mobile increases your movement speed even more. Difficult terrain does not slow you down when you dash. And then you also get Evade Opportunity Attacks. So if you move after making a melee attack, so say you run in, you punch something, and you leave, that enemy cannot give you any opportunity attack. Any other enemy that's around them can, but the enemy that you attack cannot. So it makes it great for hit and run games if you want to do that, because one, it gives you even more distance and the no opportunity attacks. So get that if you are a dex-based monk. If you are a strength monk, we are going to choose Tavern Brawler, and we're going to bump up our strength to 18. So that gives us a +4 to our strength check. And what Tavern Brawler does, and they haven't fixed this yet, and if they do, we may be completely changing where we take Karlach. We might actually go into some kind of barbarian build. But Tavern Brawler, when you make an unarmored attack or use an improvised weapon or throw something, your strength modifier is added twice to the damage and attack rolls. We're a monk. We are doing unarmed attacks all the time. Every single flurry of blows is an unarmed attack. The bonus attack that you get is an unarmed attack. So basically, we're doing a d6 plus 8 to it. Plus, we get plus 8 to the attack roll. It's an insane feat. Get this, get this, get this. And then at level 5, monks get what all the classes get. They get extra attack, they get more ki, and then they get the wonderful Stunning Strike. Stunning Strike, you spend a key point or 2, I don't remember what, and you have a chance to stun the target. If you're playing with a warlock like I am, I can give them disadvantage on Constitution saves, and I can stun them. I believe you do auto crits to stunned enemies. So you can use this sparingly. If you don't want to flurry, you can use this as a regular attack. And since we have 2, you can use 2 however many key points you have, you can use that and spend it. So that's my party. It's really good. Like I said, it has gotten me through most of the game so far. I'm just almost out of Act 1. I'm trying to do a lot of extra things. As far as like items goes, I've just basically been using what I've found. I haven't really gotten too much. The gold wormling staff for Karlach is really good. It adds the D4 to fire. If you give her a soul coin, she also has more fire, so it becomes 2d4 fire. It's really, really nice. Braces of defense, you find that in the necromancer's basement. It gives you a +2 to armor class as long as you're not wearing armor or holding a shield. So it gives her extra AC. If you are running her as a dex base, it gets up to 18. It's pretty nice. Lae'zel doesn't really have much. It just got Herald earlier. She actually runs with the Monster Slayer glaive. I just have Maul because she was knocking down walls, and Mauls do a ton of damage. But I got the Monster Slayer glaive from this, and the gold wormling staff I got off the Zentrum traders in the Goblin stronghold. I killed them and took their stuff. So that's what they have. My main character, I took the warp headband of intellect just to help me do some investigation checks, but I don't really use it too often. She just has like just these. The Speak with Dead isn't bad. It's a pretty good one. She can wear heavy armor. I just haven't found any yet. I don't want to spend any money. I gave my only piece of heavy armor to Shadowheart because my dex is higher, so this just gives me extra 2, and I haven't found anything better than this so far. And that's about it. Haste Helm on Karlach. She gets a little bit more movement speed in the first 3 rounds of combat. Works really well. They do really, really good with potions of speed, and you can actually craft them. So craft potions of speed, craft healing potions because you do tend to need it. Like I said, this is a short rest party, but the cleric spells and soon the sorcerer spells do not replenish on a short rest. So I use them sparingly. I just kind of use a lot of potions because I am, just to prove it, I am running in Tactician. It's a lot harder. I tend to basically do a bunch of stuff in short rest and then a bunch of stuff in short rest. So, but all in all, I'm enjoying the game. I will have a further breakdown because like Karlach is going to go into Rogue at level 7 from 7 to 9 to get 3 levels of Rogue so I can unlock the Thief subclass, and then the rest will be in Monk. So I want to show you that evolution and just kind of show you where the party is after I've been able to play it for a little bit and get some cool stuff. So I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, do the YouTube stuff of liking and subscribing and following me, and catch me on Twitch, where I stream most nights depending on my schedule and what's going on at work. But hope you guys enjoyed this and have a great rest of your whatever. See ya.